Happy scooting.
Hi, it's Tim's Electric. Today I want to share with you, when do you choose to purchase an electric bike or an electric scooter? So one of the reasons why I like electric vehicles is so I can just do my grocery shopping. But when I show up with my e-bike, I gotta find a great big heavy lock and get started with it. But if I'm using my electric scooter, watch this. What about storage? Well, there's a big difference with storage. If you have an e-bike, what you can actually do is you can actually grab some panniers, put those panniers on, it just makes it so much easier. Or even if you just put it on the cargo rack at the back, and some of the big ones, the cargos, they'll actually have great big bolts at the very front of the actual bike that you can actually put great big racks on as well. So, hey, that's fantastic. With a scooter, what I found is I can loop a little bag up the front here. Some have a little hook up here as well. What I typically do though is I just put a backpack on. Well, one of the other issues you have between e-scooters and e-bikes is stability. As we get older, our balance actually gets a little bit worse. So for some, the stability of a bike and the knowledge of a bike might be a little bit more familiar, but if you're a little bit more adventurous, electric scooter is definitely the way to go. You know, sometimes it actually rains here and it gets winter. So weather is a big factor. And what I mean by that is that, you know, on an electric scooter, you've got these tiny little mud guards and that's great, but they're really small tires. So when you're going around corners with small tires and a little bit of spray, they're not designed for that. However, this, with great big mud guards on, great big tire, it's much better for riding around in the wet weather. It's actually just much more comfortable as well. Either way, it's not fun, you know, being exposed to the weather, but either way, if it's gonna rain, I'd rather be on an e-bike than an e-scooter. And the other thing is the IP rating. So that's the rating that allows, you know, it measures the amount of dust and or water into the unit. I find the e-bikes are just better suited for rain, and electric scooters, they've got a little ways to come yet. Peacock brake. One of the biggest factors between electric scooters and electric bikes is weight. Here's a scooter, typical scooter. It's about 40 pounds, maybe 35 pounds. Pretty easy for me to carry up and down some stairs. Here we go. And this is about the same size, or sorry, same weight. It's probably around 45, 50 pounds, but it's a lot more unwieldy to carry around and up and down some stairs. Oh, that's a lot heavier. Michael and I were just setting up to do some filming, and all of a sudden I saw Jess fly past in her electric scooter, and I yelled out for her to stop. And I just wanted to ask Jess, why did you choose an electric scooter instead of an e-bike?
Thanks for the question. As you can see, my scooter is awesome and portable. So for me, living in an apartment in Fairfield where we don't have secure bike storage, this was a much easier option for something that I can easily and safely take up to my apartment. It comes in at about 30 pounds, so I can still carry it up the stairs without it being a big production.
Can you fold it up?
I can. Would you like me to do that on camera? Yeah. Okay, we'll see if I'm more graceful than the last time. So it's a two-part, so you pull a pin, you pull a lever, and folds right down.
Thanks so much for doing that, Jess. Much appreciated.
You're so welcome. Thanks. Happy scooting.
What about transport? Subways, buses, that sort of thing? Well, if you live in a city like Victoria, our buses actually have these.
A few moments later.
That goes up to hold the bike in place. Pull it up and all the way. Beautiful. So I've never done this before, but I got it right. But if you're with an e-scooter, you don't have to dismantle the bike. You don't have to take the battery off. You don't have to take the panniers off. You just fold it up, walk on the bus, pay your fare, sit down, and just basically look after your scooter. Make sure it's not going to slide around, roll around. That's one thing they're going to be worried about. Thank you, bus driver. What about distance? That's one of the things you're gonna have with electric vehicles is something called range anxiety. Now, range anxiety is that idea that you might not get there. The nice thing with e-bike is that you can actually pedal your way through it. So if you do get stuck that last few, half mile or a kilometer or so, you can actually pedal all the way through. With the scooter, you're gonna be pushing it. Typically, electric scooters, especially the commuter ones, they have a smaller battery just so they can be nice and light and nimble. But the e-bike, these things have typically larger batteries, so you're less likely to have to worry about range. X factor. What's the X factor, Tim? Well, one thing I've noticed about riding e-bikes, I love them for the distance. I love the fact that if I have to go a certain distance, and I mean like about, probably for some, everybody's a little different here, but for me about 10 miles, 16 kilometers, I'm gonna pick the e-bike over the electric scooter. I just find range anxiety, comfort over that long period of time, I prefer the e-bike. But the X factor is that electric scooters are fun. They're ridiculously fun. You ride around with a great big smile on your face and having a blast. And on this beautiful day, I'm gonna take my cameraman Michael here for a lovely lemonade, and we're just gonna end it there. But if you have any comments, leave them down below. Cut.
Happy scooting.